What is the next XL cabinet? Is Time Crisis being crushed by the FCC, and should New Wave Toys go big or stay home? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in the home arcade community. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 119. 119. One hell of a week so far. Not much going on as far as news, but there is something going on in my personal arcade, my personal space. The fact that the arcade is actually taking shape, it's coming together. It has been an exciting time, a lot of activity. My weekend has been a little bit crazy. We had the grandson's birthday here, so that was incredibly chaotic. And then I've been jumping through hoops trying to get this stuff knocked out before I go back on the road Monday and head up to New York. Buffalo, New York is going to be on the docket for next week. If you're in the area, let me know. I'm actually probably going to have some free time. It's not going to be a crazy jam-packed week full of stuff. I've got a heavy day on Tuesday and then a light day on Wednesday. Returning home on Thursday. So maybe, just maybe, I can scope out a decent arcade in the area and maybe do a meetup. So if you're interested in that, pay attention to my social media, Twitter. Well, it's not even Twitter, it's X. Pay attention to my X. That doesn't even sound right. So check out to see if I post where I am in places. If I do decide to meet up somewhere or be somewhere for any extended period of time, I'll let you know on my community tab here on X and then also on my Instagram. So for the two of you that might want to say hi, absolutely come by and say hi. So what is in my glass tonight? So I got a mix. I'm rocking a mixed drink tonight. I haven't. I don't want to touch the 10-year Basin Hadel anymore. I want to leave that. That's kind of a expensive bottle, and reserve that for special occasion. And all I had was Jim Beam. So I added a little bit of Coke Zero. So I've got a mixed drink tonight. Like I said, it's been really, really hectic and crazy, and I haven't had time to break away and do any do most of the stuff that I wanted to do. So it is what it is. We got a mixed drink tonight. Let me know what you're drinking in the comments section. Later on, if you're watching us on the replay, let me know in the chat, in the live chat, what you're drinking tonight. Is everybody going back to work Monday? I thought my son is on fall break. So I don't know if some of you are on fall break, if you're still in school, or if maybe you took a day off because you got to be home to watch the kid. Let me know about that in the chat, in the comment section. Also, it's getting dangerously close to like the best time of year. The holidays are coming up. On this channel, we always make a big deal about Christmas. We do live streams every single night the week of Christmas, but Christmas is on a Monday this week. So it's going to end up probably being like the week after Christmas that I'll be taking off. So the void between Christmas and New Year's will be filled with lots of activity on this channel, giveaways and just random nonsense talking about stuff. Hopefully a lot of things are going to be announced by multiple companies towards the end of the year. We'll be able to talk about some stuff. I'm definitely going to have a lot of pre-orders being fulfilled. Lots of reviews going to be happening, especially when the arcade gets done. I'm going to have way more time to get back to filming the stuff that I really enjoy, tinkering with arcades, real arcades, arcade one-ups, product reviews, all that fun stuff. That is fun. Not that I'm not having a good time building the arcade, but you really don't get to go along with me on that ride. It just kind of is what it is, right? So that's what's going on there. I know everybody has projects. Tran Fanatic is always working on his cars on the weekend. The weekends are crazy and heavy. Football's going on. Cowboys are playing. The game starts in about 15, 20 minutes, but I'm not going anywhere. We're going to have this show tonight. I'll watch them lose later on. Hopefully, I don't know. I really hope they win. I really hope they win. I really want them to beat the 49ers. Hey, listen, dreams do come true, right? Maybe, perhaps. So one of the reasons why I stuttered in my intro is because you caught me slipping. Every week we have a poll question. Guess who forgot to put the poll question together? I forgot to post it. I completely zoned out, forgot about it. Like I said, there was lots going on. I shut everything down about 6 o'clock. So I had about 2 hours to get the show prepped and ready to go. I did everything except post the damn poll question. But now it's up. And so here's the question. As we know by RK1UP's own admission. Yeah, they admitted that next year is going to be probably the year of XLs. Or if you wanted to see more XLs, they're going to be coming next year. And we're going to be talking about the XLs tonight with much more specificity. I've got a pretty good solid plan where I know where they're going. I know the roadmap. For a guy that doesn't work for RK1UP, like the only guy in the space that doesn't work for RK1UP, this is just going to be guessing, speculation, lots of fun. I hope if you like it. So here's what I want to know from you. Tonight, we're going to talk about what we're probably going to get realistically. But in the poll question, I want to know what you think it should be. Okay. What should, not what will, but what do you want? What do you want the next XL cabinet to be? Now, we've obviously got the 3. We've got the Golden Tee. We've got the Shack Jam. And then we've got Pac-Man. I'm not counting the Pro. That's a whole nother deal. So that's in the conversation, right? So what do you think of these 3? What do you think the next XL cabinet should be? Should it be a legacy cabinet, one of the mini legacies? Should it be one of those? Make one of those, any one, besides the Pac-Man, which is already out. Should it be a shooter or should it be a driver? What they've released before, something new, whatever. I'm really, really wanting them to try a XL driver shooter. Probably more a shooter than anything else. Drivers have been kind of hit or miss for me. I think that I don't know if it's the 17-inch screen. I think it's the overall experience isn't quite doing it for me. So I don't know if the screen would make a big difference on the drivers. I think it will, obviously, and the weight of the cabinet be a little bit wider would help. But I think a shooter would benefit most from that 19-inch screen. But there's some cool legacies. I mean, there's some legacy cabinets they could actually turn into a really, really cool XL cabinet. So let me know in the comments section. Vote in this poll. If they're really going to come out with an XL, maybe we can at the very least, we're going to let them know what we want to see out of these 3 categories. So do we want to see a shooter? Do we want to see a driver? Or do you want to see one of those sweet legacy cabinets in an XL form factor? 55 votes. Everybody jump in there. Let me know what you think about it. Should be a fun show tonight. I hope everybody vote in the poll. We know what's going on what's in my glass, what's in my drink. My weekend has been crazy. Lots going on. Cowboys are playing, but I'm not watching because I'm here with you where I need to be, where I should be. And let's get into saying hi to everybody in the chat real quick. Let's say hi to the chat. And coming in, number 1 tonight, 11:30 a.m. Beach Native 78 says, "What's up, Fox and chat? The arcade is coming along nicely. Thank you very much. It's time for my favorite part of my Sunday. So for tonight's stream, smash the like button. Listen, great advice needs to be followed. Smash the like button. Hashtag Fox Nation. Do appreciate it." I might have to change that to hashtag 19K Fox Nation or Fox 19 Nation or something. They might get confused with that other Fox Nation. Wrights Retrocade coming in second place. Not bad. But you're coming in second place. Have to chime in just a little bit. I think you were only a half hour behind Beach Native 78. But Wrights Retrocade writes smoked old fashions. Oh, nice. Bourbon wearing its grad tux, or just muddling good booze with sugar and fruit. Okay, sounds good. That's quite. Let me know where you ended up, right? Sounds like you got 3 pretty good selections there. Gotham City Arcade, my brother. Hey, Battle, what is going on? Good to see you. I want to buy deluxe cabs, but it has to be new titles, not these rehashed. It would be nice to get an arcade one-up roadmap for 2024, so the community would know what to save up for. I will say this: 2 CESs ago, I had a big live stream on my show or my channel, and we talked about a bunch of stuff that they did release or reveal from CES. Those first wave, I guess it was the second wave of legacies. Third wave? Second wave left. It was that first midway style, the Mortal Kombat cabinet. It looked really good. And there was a lot to talk about in the beginning of the year, right? When are they coming out and all that? But they didn't release everything, but they did release some stuff. So maybe, just maybe, it would be a good idea. I think it always ends up being a better way to kick off the year for Arcade One. For really any company is to announce in January, hey, these are some titles coming out. Not everything, don't tell us everything, but release some of the stuff that we can expect that year, especially when you're talking about items that cost $500 for one. So let us know at least something. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good practice to get into, and then eventually throughout the year, sprinkling a few more surprises here and there. There's always going to be a leak somewhere from some website. It is what it is. Jason, Little Angel is Little Alien, not Angel. Little Alien is in the house saying, "Good afternoon, all. Hope everyone is having a killer weekend. See you tonight, Fox." Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. My weekend was pretty killer. I can't complain. Finally, it's hoodie weather here. Yesterday, the temperature dropped, and I think it was rocking. I think it only got up to I don't even know if we hit 60 today here in the Cincinnati area. So, hope everybody's enjoying some fall-like weather, cooler, not hot. Got your hoodies on. For the ladies, for the guys, for whoever, drinking your pumpkin lattes and whatever, I'm just drinking coffee, but I do like the pumpkin themed everything. Everything's a pumpkin. I don't care what pumpkin spice, pumpkin this, pumpkin that, pumpkin this, everything. It's the food, it's the colors, it's everything. Everything's pumpkin themed. So enjoy all your pumpkins in any way, shape, or form. Moose Dad is in the house saying, "What up, Fox? Have a great show and go Niners." Come on, I can't. All right, this is your comment, not mine. Go Niners. That's what you said. I didn't say those words. I just read what you wrote. Walter Hepner is in the house saying the next XL, it's clearly the only option. Pac-Mania. Exactly. We got Pac-Man. Now get ready for it, kids. Pac-Mania is right around the corner. You might be right. You know what? You might be right. Game Broker 84 says, "Happy Sunday, Fox. Great way to end my birthday." Happy birthday, man. Absolutely, dude. Happy birthday. Congratulations on making another year, another trip around the sun. Congratulations. Is with my favorite YouTube show. Awesome, man. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great week. Be good and help everyone. Cheers. Absolutely. Take the time. It's like I said, we're getting closer to the holiday season. It's been a crazy year. We're get in the swing, get in that mood to kind of help each other out a little bit, and, maybe everybody's mood overall will improve because they're starting to burn up some vacation days towards the end of the year, and, they're thinking about holidays, thinking about the fun stuff, thinking about not just the presents and all that, but the getting together, the time off is good and cooler weather. And hopefully your favorite NFL team is kicking ass right now. The smokade. We're going to go with that. If Time Crisis is getting delayed, I'm just going to cancel it. I think, yeah, we're going to talk about it. There's a lot to discuss about that, Kevin. Video Game Vegas says, "Happy Sunday, Fox. Yeah, I feel Time Crisis should be delayed, but probably not for reasons some may assume. I think RK1 needs to upgrade the light gun recoil and add at least another 16 games to it." Not a bad idea. That's really good, especially for $749, right? Game Room Guru is in the house. The guru of game rooms. The best part of Sunday is this stream. Worst part is I have to go to work. I'm so sorry you got to go to work, but thank you for the compliment. And hopefully you're not working too hard. Tram Fanatic, there he is. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Hey, Fox and chat. Spun my Z out because the brake pedal went to the floor earlier this week. Thankfully, the Z and me are okay. Thank goodness. Ordered a new master cylinder last night, and hopefully it will fix it. I really hope so, man. Be careful with your experimental vehicles, all right? You're over there, you're power sliding and stuff, killing yourself. You just relax. Maybe drive the other car. Rotate them. Maybe just sell them both and get a hybrid. I don't know what. Just be careful, man. Shannon Zahn is in the house saying, "Hey, Fox, we'll be watching this on replay." No problem. I do appreciate you, man. Got to watch my 49ers destroy. Oh, too soon? Still the best. I appreciate it. Despite my love of the Cowboys, I appreciate it. Cannot wait to hear your analysis and discussion. Fun topics tonight. Thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate it. It is appreciated. Full show. Kevin Clausen is out. Oh my gosh, forgot to say hi. Football will do that to you. Absolutely does. You get caught up in the games and you just lose all track of time. Have a great stream, Fox. Catch the replay. Absolutely. And speaking of catches, why don't you go ahead and catch this $3 super chat. This one comes to us from Kevin Clausen, and I incorporated your, transition into the transition, hence giving you your own transition, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Perhaps. Thank you so much for your $3 super chat. Really do appreciate it, buddy. But, unfortunately, you got to go one place, and it's not home. It's to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Soul Red is in the house. Still excited for Time Crisis. A lot of people are. The price, not so much. Cobretti. Kai, how the hell are you, buddy? Good to see you again. Evening, Fox and chat. The new XL will be another Street Fighter cab. Maybe. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that. I got some thoughts. Carl O's in the house. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Game Room looking good. 19K Fox. Thank you so much. It is getting ridiculously close. And I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not really a little secret. I have called to have the carpet guy come out and give me an estimate next Friday. Well, yeah, this coming Friday, the 13th. Friday the 13th. Usually a day of horror, not today, or not that day. Yeah, not that day. Not in this house. It's going to be a day of what's the opposite of horror? I don't know, joy. I don't know. Going to be doing an estimate on the carpet. Everything will be done so that they can come in and do some accurate measuring. So all the baseboards will be in place. Everything painted, done as far as that goes. I stopped working on the drop ceiling to focus on that so that I could go ahead and get that because I don't know how long it's going to take to get the carpet in. But we're moving quickly. The goal is to have it done well before Thanksgiving. I think we might actually get to the bad guy, Whirly. What is going on, buddy? Good to see you once again. Not so bad a guy. But we're going to go with what his name is because that's what he chose for himself. Hey, Fox, have a good show tonight. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited because when it is a 3-day weekend, when is a 3-day weekend never? Exactly. When is a 3-day weekend never a good thing? The answer is never. Unless you're talking about 4-day weekend, which is a whole different topic anyway. So thank you so much for being here, man. Dr. Jeff is in the house saying, I've modded my Ridge Racer cab with a mini PC and I'm loving hundreds of racing games in there, including Techno Parrot. So I've got all the latest arcade racing going. Couldn't be happier. Outstanding. That's what I love to hear. A little experimentation, a little modding to make an RK1M cabinet complete. Exactly what you've always wanted. Dream fulfilling. Sometimes. Awesome, man. It's really good to hear. I'm glad you got that going on. Alfred Burgers in the house saying, hey, Wave Fox. How you doing, man? Good to see you. The Cornercade. How you doing, guys? Let's go. Let's just go. Absolutely. Can't wait. Looking forward to coming on your channel, man. I know we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, a little misunderstanding there, but we're going to get that rectified. And can't wait to be on your channel. It's going to be awesome, man. Good discussions as always. And I saw that Cornercade got his Big Buck Deluxe. Looking forward to that review as well. Saying Spirits, my excitement for an XL New Wave Toys cabinet is over 9,000. XL New Wave, damn. Whew, lots to discuss there, lots to talk about. Dan Z is in the house saying 19K Fox, hello, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're back home doing what you love, man. Jay, buddy, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you again. Hey, Fox, looking forward to the stream, especially the New Wave full or 3/4 scale cabs, but we'll be splitting time with you and the Cowboys. They have a tough game ahead of them tonight. I am not mad at you at all. I'm going to try to wrap this up in a decent amount of time so that I can watch most of the game my damn self. But happy to see you here and in any way that I can get you for sure. Frank D's in the house trying a new one tonight, calling the Bushker Irish whiskey. Got my Scotch Loch Ness or Ness Scotch Ness Monster whiskey stone in a cup. So I'm ready to go. Absolutely. Awesome, man. Sounds good. I want to see a picture of the Scotch Ness Monster stone. Are you talking? Is it shaped like Nessie? And it's like poking out of your actual, as you're drinking it, you got like this silhouette of the Loch Ness Monster out of just like hanging out in your whiskey. That's awesome. I'll drink to that for sure. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Paul, Minderman, what's going on, buddy? Once you go XL, nothing else works as well. Or nothing else works at all, really. But New Wave can stay 1/6, to be honest. We're going to talk about that tonight. For sure. Scrolling down, Andy's Game Room is here. Good evening, all. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Bob, buddy. How you doing? How the kids are treating you well? How's that wife? Is she keeping you in line? Or are you keeping her in? I don't even know. I don't know. You're both crazy. You're both all over the place. Toxin, Ricky, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hello, howdy, peeps and creeps. It is that time of year, isn't it? It is that time of year for sure. Scrolling down, I want to see Ralphie Duran's in the house. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. Galaga Guy 88. Hello, Fox. Thinking I am going to hold off on the XLs till I see something I really want. Plus, New Wave Toys got my wanted. They did, didn't they? New Wave Toys, they got to you. And that's what happens. That's what happens. You go up there, you meet those guys, you meet Shiloh, you see them on the Super Game Room dudes, and then you realize these things are really freaking cool. I will share this with you, everybody, all 130 you watching right now. I showed I brought this stuff home from the Cleveland Gaming Classic. I was excited to show off this stuff, but I thought that my wife would get a kick out of the Coke machine, and she was kind of, well, whatever. I take it out of the box, and she's like, well, this is kind of neat. Oh, it's actually a refrigerator? What? It has little Coke cans. Oh, you can push the button. You put the coins in. She thought it was so cool. She thought it was into it, you know? So it's the gift that keeps on giving. So buy one for your friends, buy one for your kids, buy one for your wife. Everybody will love it. If they are really, really interested in chilling, just 2 cans of Coke at a time. It could be a thing for them. It's also really, really good desk craft for sure. TMC NY, what is going on? Big up, Fox. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for stopping by and swinging by, hanging out, chilling, relaxing, and wrapping up your weekend with me. I do appreciate it. Mo Megan's in the house saying, looking forward to the topics tonight. What's better than looking forward to topics? Saluting a fellow vet / salute to you, 19K, as always, as you were. Carry on. Do appreciate you, man. I don't know if I mentioned this to everybody, but my son, my second oldest is my middle son, is currently going through basic training right now in the Navy. So big salute to my Navy brothers and sisters. We're all in this together, even though Army is way better in every way. No, I'm just kidding. So I was Army. My oldest is Army, and my second son is Navy. So my youngest son, Air Force, and just round out the whole. I'll have the complete set. It'll be great. It'll be good. And the stickers on the back of my truck will just keep growing. It's awesome. G.I. Joel is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Did I say hi to everybody? Most everybody. Mark Whitman is in the house saying, "Hey Fox, great to finally be here. I usually catch you on Monday. I'm glad you're here, buddy. I'm glad you're here and hope everything is going well. And maybe even you're catching me because you got tomorrow off. That would be sick. Absolutely sick. Like we discussed earlier. I mean, when is a 3-day weekend a bad thing? Well, only if it's, not a 4-day weekend. Tammy G is in the house. I wish I was on fall break. Yeah, you and me both. Yeah, I got to fly tomorrow. So I don't get to be on break, but the kids do. Prince Malcolm is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you. We need something new that's XL straight out of the box. It has to be Daytona. Let's go away. Man, you and me, nobody would be mad about that. You're talking about big money. People would pay big money for Daytona. Big money. Huge money. Just like a $9.99 super chat. This one, huge, in fact. Huge Success Guild coming in with a $10 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for swinging by and supporting the channel. Hey, Fox, get this. A bunch of us asked Arcade 1UP on the Time Crisis questions page if it was coming to other vendors besides Shop Hippo. They deleted the questions without answering. Very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. I don't know why they would just delete your questions, but is it something that I wouldn't put past them? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Transparency is the number one thing. Now, maybe something else happened. I can't imagine they wouldn't just answer that question. But the next show, the next 1UP show, update show, the 1UP, whenever they happen to have it, I don't even know if it's posted. You need to ask that question. Be in the chat and blow it up. And, I think that they should be forthcoming with that. Is there something else going on with Time Crisis besides the fact that Shop Hippo has it locked up for now? Perhaps. Maybe. But it is what it is. Anyway, thank you so much again for your super chat. Really appreciate it. $10 can buy you a lot of things, but it can only buy you one thing on the planet that you can, and you can't get anywhere else, right? There's one thing you can get right here on the 19K Fox channel. You're not going to be able to get anywhere else. Priceless. But in this scenario, I'm going to put a price tag on it, and it's $10. Here you go.
All right, Justin. Shirts versus skins. Let's go.
The best $10 you ever spent, and some of those proceeds are going to go right back to Justin and Kong for and B for actually doing that. So I'm going to make a spreadsheet. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it, man. Thor KC is in the house. It's right in the middle of my work week. Virtual Wednesday, like a virtual hump day. I know you're working those split shifts, man. That's not good. Hopefully you get a weekend eventually. I mean, come on, like an actual weekend day, if you get those rotating shifts, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for joining us on your virtual Wednesday. I do appreciate it. Shane Super says Zoltar. Yes. Saved by Zero. Happy Thanksgiving to the Canadian. Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian viewers. It's great. I don't know why you guys get to celebrate earlier, but I'm happy for you, I guess. It looks like October 8th, October 7th is your Thanksgiving. So awesome. Enjoy yourselves. Take it easy. Hopefully you get a nice long weekend. I know Michael B is feeling a little bit under the weather, which is unfortunate. It really sucks, especially around the holidays. But maybe he'll, if you're going to get sick, it's, good to do it when you have a little more time to recuperate. So is what it is. But yeah, hopefully everybody, all my Canadian brothers and sisters are having a great time enjoying your Thanksgiving. Kevin Wong's in the house. Use Post-it notes. Oh, when I forgot when I forgot to do the poll, yeah, maybe that might actually help, or maybe I should just slow down and do a little bit better time management. Perhaps that might be a better idea. Not try to do so much at one time, but I'm just really excited. I want to get this thing done. Want to get it done. I want to share it with y'all, and I want to get back to doing other videos. Jeremy Diedrich is in the house saying, just saw a game promo for Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice. Smith saying he was the one who shined in the 90s. No, Emmitt, that was Barry Sanders. PSH, unreal. Man, I'd love to debate you, but I just don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it at all. Yeah, so we got people. I think I've said hi to most of you. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But I am so glad that you're here. Papa Brad's Game is in the house saying, hello, gamers. Good to see you, man. So we talked about what I'm drinking, what you're drinking. We talked about the poll question. Jump up there real quick. Vote in the poll. It's an easy question this week. Pretty simple. What should the next XL cabinet be? What do you want it to be? What do you think it should be? Should it be a legacy cabinet just as an XL? Should they do a shooter or a driver? Let me know in the comments, or let me know in the poll. Vote, vote, vote. See if we can't get 200 votes. I know it might be tough because it's Sunday night. It's Sunday Night Football, and the greatest team of all time is playing, Dallas Cowboys. So it is what it is. But anyway, okay. So we talked about that. We talked about everything else except the first topic, which we should probably get into right now. Okay, so FCC is crushing Time Crisis. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. There's some things to discuss. There's some things to talk about. So Time Crisis is coming out eventually. Time Crisis, the most leaked cabinet of all time. I think it's fair to say we've known about this years in advance. As far as part of those GameFly leaks, everything else came out. This didn't. We didn't think it was going to happen. Then it was going to happen. Then we still weren't sure. Then we saw the leaked image and like, yay, it's happening. And then all this and that and the other. Finally, officially, they announced it. And usually as part of all of these announcements, we, back in the day, we used to keep a close eye on the FCC filings. And then we kind of get like an early image, early glimpse of the cabinet. We would find out sometimes that a cabinet was actually coming out, some of the ways that we found out about this stuff. But in, probably the last year and a half, you can't do that anymore. They've plugged those leaks. They have confidentiality letters, so they don't post. The FCC will not post images of the cabinets, all the test images. They used to show the actual shape of the cabinet. There was no decals, but it was the shape of the cabinet. You would see some stuff. They don't do that anymore, so it's kind of sad. So you can't really go there for leaks anymore. I still check it from time to time. But one of the big stories with Time Crisis, as it was before it was coming out, right, was that it actually failed its FCC filing, its FCC testing. That's something that's never happened for RK1 before, ever. But then they announced it was coming out and it was going to Shop Hippo and all this, and it just seemed weird how, although it failed, it was still coming out and on track. Well, just to kind of give you a little bit of a recap, if you go to the website right now, if you go to their FCC filings page, you look up Tastemakers, which is the parent company of RK1UP. You'll see all these documents, and right up top, the very first two is the dismissal request letter that was filed by RK1UP, signed by Chris Yip, the compliance manager with Tastemakers, and basically saying, "Listen, we respectfully request dismissal for FCC ID," and that's the ID of the actual cabinet. "We confirm that devices labeled with this FCC ID number," which is the FCC ID number that they were given, "has not been sold in the United States and neither anywhere in the world." Okay, so the FCC filing associated with that cabinet, okay, is null and void. They filed for it to be dismissed, most likely because of all the failed tests. They just like, hey, it's not going to work in the U.S. Okay, fine. And then if you also dig a little bit deeper, this is sort of the FCC's response to their letter requesting the dismissal. This is the dismissal request approval. They don't really approve a dismissal. They just sort of acknowledge that it was dismissed. So here's a letter. Once again, you can go back to the FCC filing, the page for Tastemakers. You can look up Time Crisis, and here you go. And here's a letter, and you read it, and it's pretty standard, just acknowledging that you requested for the item to be dismissed. But there's a portion of the letter I wanted to highlight and talk about. And here we go. It says that if you elect to refile For the equipment authorization, you must submit a currently dated Form 731 and all data required by the rules section applicable to the equipment. You are cautioned. This is interesting, or just, foreboding, ominous, if you will. You are cautioned that, importation and marketing of equipment in the United States bearing the referenced FCC identifier is prohibited by Section 2.803 of the rules. Violations of this regulation may subject you to penalties provided in Section 501, 502 of the Commissions Act of 1934 as amended. So basically, you said you wanted to dismiss this item. Basically, you're dismissing the FCC number associated with the time crisis cabinet because it failed. So, okay. And so the response to that is, hey, listen, if you want to refile, if you want to try to go at this again, you got to submit updated information. So if you go to the website, if RK1UP had resubmitted new information, it would be part of the website. It would be part of the FCC website, and we should be able to see that information. As of today, they have not resubmitted. They have not reapplied. They have not tried to, get this thing into the FCC and have it retested so that it can be approved for sale within the U.S. And yet, if you go to the Shop Hippo website, which is the only place you can buy the damn thing, to some people's point, it's weird. Like, why the question was asked, or in the super chat, they said that, hey, we asked the question and they deleted the question. Well, it's just kind of weird because this is becoming now a time-sensitive issue because Shop Hippo, once again, the only place you can get it, right? Shop Hippo is saying that it's going to ship on the 30th of this month, and today's the 8th. So, we're getting kind of short on time here. And for this thing to be you have to resubmit and refile everything would also warrant retesting. So what changes had to be made? I mean, they physically have to have the cabinet. If you remember those first images of some of the first cabinets before they would omit all the photos, you had to send them the cabinet. Some of these were entire cabinets. Some of them were just the actual the electronic guts of the cabinet itself. So it was the monitor, it was the antenna, it was the PCB, and that may be all that it is. And if you're going to send something that had a riser, maybe you didn't send the riser, you just sent the top part of the actual cabinet. But this is a deluxe cabinet, and you got to send this whole damn thing. So if they have the current iteration, if they have this current submitted version for testing, did they have to go back and get it? Did they have to send it back? Was that destroyed because it wasn't available for sale or anything? And then did they have to send them a newer version of the cabinet? And if that's the case, well, then how long does that take? I mean, is it en route? I mean, do they have to logistically, how does that work? Does the FCC have to get the cabinet and then you submit the paperwork, or do you submit the paperwork and then you got to send them a cabinet? They're located in New Jersey, I think. Shop Hippo is. So it's not like they're located outside the U.S. So it's not like they're exploiting some kind of a weird loophole. Shop Hippo is based in the U.S. Now, maybe their products don't come. They're probably not in a warehouse in New Jersey. They're probably in China, and they're shipping them over. And you got to buy them through Shop Hippo. But it's interesting that, we're in the very month that Shop Hippo claims that the cabinets are going to start shipping, and we haven't seen any kind of resubmittal, any paperwork whatsoever, trying to get them to pass an FCC filing to get that FCC number so that they can legally sell in the U.S. So legally, they can't really sell the cabinet as far as we're aware, as far as the public is aware. And I know we're not privy to all the information, but, usually the FCC filings are pretty current, pretty up to date, and they're posted immediately. I mean, that's really part of public record, the listing itself. Now, they can, like I said, they have submitted confidentiality letters so that they won't share images, pictures of the cabinets themselves. The best you can ever hope for now is you'll see the location of the label, which also has the FCC identifier on it. That's not the case anymore because that FCC identifier is null and void. They've dismissed it. The request for dismissal was approved. So what does all this mean? Does that mean we're never going to see the cabinet again? Well, no, because we've seen the cabinet, haven't we? We've seen an early prototype. BCong was given an early prototype just to kind of show off. It's actually at their local. I forget the name of the bar. right there in near in B's hometown. I forget the name of Torrance. Yeah, Torrance, California. So you can go and you can check it out. Console Fanboy was actually there. He was there checking it out. But they can't sell it yet in the US. Meanwhile, we've seen this thing for sale in Australia. We've seen reviews coming out from our buddies down under, our friends down under. Toykade even just posted his review just a couple days ago. Well, so what's going on? Well, it's a little bit of a different standard there. So going back and forth with Big Reese, let me just check my messenger to see if there's any kind of new information that he was trying to give me, maybe even send me a picture. No, nothing yet. So basically I was asking for some kind of what's the Australian the FCC equivalent in Australia, and I thought it was the ACMA, but that was more, I was going back and forth and he said that's actually some kind of a cell phone registry or something. So that's not exactly it, but there is a different entity. And here it is. This is the sticker or the decal or the, emblem you'll see on your items when you buy something from Australia. And this just sort of certifies it was actually, whatever the item is, it's approved and it went through all the rigorous standards and it passed, and here you go. But it's not quite as transparent as it is here in the US. It's difficult to find a website. And if you super sleuths out there want to take this image, and maybe you can find it, maybe it's listed somewhere and you can see maybe, just maybe, some of the testing requirements that Australia has done. Obviously it's going to be different than the US. So different standards, I'm assuming, has allowed this to be sold in Australia. Some kind of standard that wasn't met in America doesn't necessarily apply in Australia. So be careful, all my Australian friends. If you're playing this, it may give you cancer, or you may grow a third arm, or maybe your finger will cramp up and fall off because you got to continuously pull through that mechanical recoil action. So it's available in Australia, but that's only because I think there's a different standard in Australia. Is it better or worse? I don't know. It's just different. Does that mean it's never going to come to the US? Well, it's kind of a funny thing. Like I said, we're kind of coming down to the wire here. We're just weeks away from supposedly this thing shipping, Now, is it going to be delayed? I think potentially. I mean, as of right now, like I said, today's the 8th. We could see some kind of filings next week. And then depending on how speedy that process is, it'll be right on track. But I don't think that that's the case. I think that we could see another potential delay, which is weird because this is the most rumored and most delayed cabinet of all time. I mean, this thing has just been rumored forever, delayed. At first, we thought maybe it was a controlled delay because they were sort of holding this thing back because they didn't have anything else to really show. And maybe that's part of it. Or maybe, just maybe, it never could clear that hurdle, that FCC filings hurdle. And, that could show or prove to be the biggest hurdle of them all. Okay, so moving right along, you got some speculation, got some things that kind of making you sad, maybe especially if you're pumped and excited about Time Crisis, if you've already pre-ordered this thing. Maybe you're a little bit bummed out, maybe a little bit sad, but cheer up. There's other things to look forward to. There's other things out there that could make you happy, that could brighten your day. Like a $5 super chat. This one comes to me from Smitty. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Tell my son Connor to stop watching stream. He has chores. Connor, as soon as this stream is over, you've got to go get those chores done, buddy, okay? All right? But you stay here and you watch the whole thing, okay? This will just be our secret. Just me and you. Connor, bro, all right? Listen, you got to promise me, if you're going to watch the stream, you got to get those chores done quickly. But don't leave. Don't let him. I'm sorry, Smitty. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. I can't tell him to go away. I can't do it. Especially, come on. He's probably a great kid, and I'm not in the position to be kicking people out of streams. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. I'm sorry that I gave bad parenting advice and I couldn't back you up. But if it's any consolation, why don't you and me, we team up and we go kill the queen? P-Dubs in the house saying, I don't know. I must have said something. I did something. It's probably not good. I'm probably going to hear about it later. I might even be kicked out of the Illuminati. I'm going to be just wrecked, destroyed, drifting out there, aloof, with nothing to call my own. That and maybe this $10 super chat. This one comes to us from Ezekiel Chicago, the Retro Ranger. Thank you so much, Chicago Retro Ranger. Thank you so much, buddy, for your $10 super chat and your continued support of the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Hey, brother, it's my dad's birthday today. So have a great show, buddy. P.S. A Big Blue from New Wave Toys is coming. Cheers. I think you're probably right. I saw the live stream and I liked where Shiloh was going with it. And I think it makes a ton of sense. We may talk about that a little bit later. You don't want to hurt your original Street Fighter adopters who bought that. By the way, if you try to find that Street Fighter New Wave Toys on eBay, get ready, buckle up. It's going to cost you 600 big ones. Anyway, I'm so glad. Please tell your dad happy birthday from a goofy guy on YouTube that he doesn't even know. Thank you so much, buddy, for your continued support. And got to give you something a little special. You know what you're getting. Here you go, buddy.
Can't you do any better?
This is the Overlord!
Thank you so much again for your super chat, but I really do appreciate it. And it's great, and it's good, and it's awesome, and it's wonderful. So why don't we just keep this thing running with another $5 super chat? This one comes to us from Galaga Guy 80. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. The FCC won't let me be. Will it leave? We'll try it again. I'm white, so it's difficult for me, you know. The FCC won't let me be, will let me be me, so let me see, because I want to see my face on MTV, because it feels so empty without me. Copyright strike. I know it's coming. Eminem and now RK want to take us to the queen. If you want to go, I'm going to take you there. Let's go. Move it on down the line. I got a question for you. Should New Wave Toys go big or stay home? It seems like a natural progression. It seems like maybe even the dumbest question in the world. Should New Wave Toys make a bigger cabinet? That's crazy. Of course they should. What are you, insane? What are you thinking? Of course they should. But should they? So there's a risk here. There's a risk. So let's talk about New Wave Toys. Let's talk about all the great stuff that they've had over the years. And let's start with of course, one of my favorites. This wasn't the original. This wasn't the very first. But this was, like I said, one of the most popular. Originally, the price was $120. You got the secondary controller because on the control deck, this is the Dynamo, the HS1, HS1. They couldn't really put enough. If they wanted this to be playable, they really couldn't put two players on it. So they gave you the secondary controller. And for $120, as expensive as that was, really a pretty good value, especially when you consider where they are now. And especially when you consider what these damn things are going for right now on eBay, $600. And it is part of the commitment that we heard Shiloh talking about on the Super Game Room Dudes. They don't want to hurt their early adopters or anybody that got in on that wave of toys, of collectibles, of mini arcades. These things they're not made and available forever. They don't make a ton of these. They don't make several iterations of them, and they don't make giant quantities. So if you want to get them, you better jump on them fairly quickly. If you see something you like, you might want to get on it, because the secondary market is absolutely crazy, but for good reason. These are high quality collectibles, whatever you want to call them. 1/6 scale arcade cabinets that are really just known for being authentic and being some of the best desk crap you could ever possibly imagine. I mean, to have this thing on a shelf with one of their UV rugs, their little carpets, is so cool. Like the first one I got, I'm like, you know what? I gotta check this out. So I got the 1942 or 1943. I think it's 1942. It's the one that's the Dynamo, right? I was building my shooter, my vertical here, my Raiden 2 Dynamo HS5. They had an HS5 in that same form factor vertical. I thought, well, I want to get this, and it wasn't incredibly expensive. I think it was actually pretty affordable at the time. It might have been 120, might have been 130. I don't think it was the current price. I think it was a little cheaper for some reason. But in any event, I bought that, and I got the damn thing, and I'm like, this is really nice. It's really cool. It's really authentic. It's a great size to have something on your desk. If you go too small, you lose a lot of the detail. If you go too big, it's just too big. It won't really fit on a desk or a shelf. It becomes awkward. But it's like this perfect size. And if you've got some Hot Toys, those 1/6 scale characters, they stand up next to this thing perfectly. And so it's really cool. And they're known for this form factor, this size, the authenticity is just great. It's awesome. It really is. And they, if you've been paying attention to this for any length of time, we're talking about, back in the day, the Street Fighter didn't. I think I'm kind of torn by not having this be a 2-player deck. They wanted it to be playable, and I get that, but I would have rather had this be a little more authentic and have the 2-player deck, right? Not just a single player, but it is what it is. But they continue to push forward. The latest iteration has a ton of little features. Now, I think it's the Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. I can't remember which one it is, but there's a lot of, they added a ton of things with that iteration, like a little power cord and all this stuff. A review for that is coming out hopefully in the next few weeks, if I can get some time to get that thing done. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. The latest version, the latest cabinet is not just another cabinet that is a great quality cabinet, but it just happens to be Frenzy. It's a different way to push this forward. So they decided to go with the Survivor Series. It's got some artificial wear, battle damage, if you want to call it that. They've gone to the extra. They've gone through some of the extra effort to add more features. So it's not just a worn out sort of aesthetic, which makes a lot of sense. Is really cool. I mean, I think that they could probably, if they wanted to re-release every cabinet that has gone out of print or whatever, or is sold out, if they wanted to re-release those as survivors, I think that's a great way. That's a great way to not take away from those original cabinets that they made, but also allow other people to get this. I think P-Dubs made this point on the live stream, but I think this would be you could have a whole Survivor series, which would be Survivor versions of every single cabinet. Remember, if you're buying action figures, you have the pristine, the perfect, the perfect action figure, but then you would also have like a battle damage version of that, all messed up and scratched up and everything. So that goes back forever. I remember I had He-Man characters. Remember the He-Man, you could push the chest and it would rotate, and so his chest was perfect, the armor was perfect, and then you could push it and it would flip once and it had a little scratch, and you would flip it again and it would have like more scratches. But this is sort of that. And it's not only that, but they've also added this flickering marquee effect, which is just great. If you've got a bunch of these sitting on a shelf and they're all sort of just static and the light just stays on, it can kind of get sort of not monotonous, but just sort of maybe not really bland. But if you want something to kind of stand out amongst all your little 1/6 scale arcades, a flickering marquee is a great little thing they can do to just, change it up a little bit, make it a little bit different. And even going so far as having the PCB door that opens on the front of a lot of these cabinets. My SCI over here has a PCB door on the front that will slide out. My real cabinets had these. My Star Wars trilogy, same thing. There's 2 doors on the front. One is for the PCB. I think one is for the power supply. So a lot of different cabinets had this, incorporating some authenticity. It's not just another arcade one-up that is shaped exactly the same, but it has, maybe maybe some of the toppers a little bit different. Maybe the marquee, the artwork's a little bit different, but basically it's the same thing. Mechanically, it's exactly the same thing. They strive to make these things very unique, very different, and adding authenticity everywhere you go, to the point that they actually even made the control panel on this one metal. I mean, it's great. That being said, should they go big? They do small really, really well. I mean, that's what they're known for. Not a lot, but there have been several companies that have actually tried going big. Unico had their one offering, their one Neo Geo cabinet. That was pretty much it. They didn't do anything more beyond that. We all know about iArcade trying and failing. We got the, what is the GameStop thing? The Ultracade or something. That's out. If you want to try that, it's fine. And of course, many, many different multi-cade companies have come out and they built these little cabinets in the 3/4 to full size ish scale with varying degrees of, success. What I think could be, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like New Wave Toys has had a lot of success with what they're doing. They could continue to grow. I think they still will continue to grow. And I think that if they come out with something big, they're by no means going to leave the small market behind. The 1/6 scale is kind of where it's at. And they've kind of, I don't know that they've perfected it, but they're pretty damn close. They're really, really giving people a lot of what they want and some really unique kind of titles. Now, if they could go with a little more mainstream, that would be pretty cool. He did talk about the Big Blue cabinet. To Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Rangers point, they were talking about the Big Blue, and I think that that's a great way to kind of bring Street Fighter or another game back in a different form factor. Big Blue, Big Red, all these sort of mainstream cabinets that were very synonymous with their that are known for the publisher themselves. So Capcom's Big Blue, you had Neo Geo's Big Red. You know, these cabinets were very much associated with those publishers. Yeah, New Wave Cubert is awesome. 1/6 scale, they've done really well, right? But what happens when they try to take that leap? So let's just look at something to kind of give you an idea. Now, this is going to be really rudimentary and basic, right? But let's just talk about just simple math, a simple math question. Here we go. You're talking about, and I wanted to compare apples to apples. What's going on right now? So if you go to their website, well, it's not available anymore, but if you bought the Dragon's Lair Replicade, it was $170, 1/6 scale. If you wanted to just, and this is just bonehead, math, right? It doesn't really make any sense beyond just this exercise right here. But if it's 1/6, if $170 gets you a really accurate 1/6 scale Dragon's Lair cabinet, if you multiply that by 6, a full size version would come in at $1,000. Now, like I said, that's really basic, that's really rudimentary, but $1,000. I mean, that would be say 1,100 retail, 1,200 retail. That's if you just did the simple math out, right? Just retail $1,100, ish, right? Okay, that sounds really cool. It's full size or close to it. It's $1,000, and you get, we can just assume that you would get the same sort of authenticity. But reality begins to set in, and RK1UP has something very similar for $650. Now, it's not going to be probably the same quality. It's probably not even going to be the same height. This one we're talking about from RK1UP has a riser. Definitely some technical differences there. But would there be enough of a price, enough of a quality difference to justify the $400 price hike? Let's say this is $1,100. Let's say for easy math, let's say it's $1,050. Okay, this is $650. So you're talking about $400 more. Is there enough there to justify a $400 price hike? On paper, sure, because you look at what they do with their 1/6 scale, all the little details, all the an actual coin mechanism. You put the coin in, and it triggers the mech, and it registers like an input, right? Like it should. The same thing with the little Coke machine. I got the new Coke over there in the background, and it's the same thing. Put the little coin in, and it functions. And it's one thing to do that small scale, but when you go up, when you make everything bigger, full size or 3/4 or XL form factor, when you upscale that, it's not a direct equation, right? Okay, well, the monitor, if we multiply it by 6, the price is going to be the price times 6. Well, not necessarily. You're talking about a pretty big jump, but we're talking about 17, 19-inch monitors. That's a huge difference from that little bitty square. I don't know that they're going to be able to do it. So once they go full size, let's say they've got their prototype and it's ready to go, and it's full size or 3/4 XL size. I'm going to listen. 3/4 is actually XL. An XL cabinet is really 3/4. That's really a 3/4 arcade. Okay. So let's, for all intents and purposes, say that they come out with something that's comparable to an XL, and it's $1,000. And you got the quality, or maybe they're looking at it. Maybe they've got, like I said, maybe they've got their prototype set up, and it's $1,000. They know they got to go to market for 1,100, or they can't make any money, right? They got to start looking at the market. Is it really going to happen? Is it really going to be worth it? I mean, if they come out with something that RK1UP already has, there's some competition right off the bat. And if RK1UP has beat them to the punch, now I'm using Dragon's Lair as an example. What if they come out with something different that RK1UP doesn't have yet? What IPs have they come out with that RK1UP hasn't? Frenzy, Ghouls and Ghosts is really cool. But those games, I mean, RK1UP has those games, or some of those games, some versions of those games. So do they think they can compete at that higher price point because it's a better quality? Because I don't think that they're going to go bigger with less quality, because quality is what they've built their brand on. Quality is what they're known for. Attention to detail is what they're known for. Shiloh was talking about, listen, you got to have metal coin doors, you know? Well, listen, if you put a metal coin door on an RK1-Up, the front panel is flimsy. So you're going to have to beef up all the support for these real pieces of equipment, these real, I mean, and I'm with him. I mean, I get it, you know? A metal coin door is not going to be supported by a little quarter-inch piece of MDF. You're going to have to go a little bit thicker. You're going to have to give it some more support if you want this thing to be real, if you want this thing to be sturdy, if you want this thing to be a good representation of what the cabinets used to be. And if you start doing all this, it's more, like I said, it's more than just the metal coin door. It's the support for the metal coin door. Just little things like that you have to really add in, you have to factor in, so the price could go much higher. So what happens? If they're at that point, they're at the price point, and they got something that is going to be pretty expensive, what's going to happen? One or two things is going to happen. They're either going to go wide open and they're going to go to market, and it is what it is. Let's see if it sells. But it's got to be the perfect combination. It's got to be the perfect storm. Even with RK1-Up cabinets and the prices they're asking for, it's still got to be the perfect storm. We talked about, listen, I love Alien versus Predator, but I don't think right now Alien versus Predator, the title, is enough to sell an RK1-Up cabinet at $500 or $600, or I'm sorry, $600 or $700. It's just, I don't think that title alone is going to sell a cabinet. In the polls that I took, the best result I got was 50-50. The live poll during the show, where there was more games on the cabinet and it was a little bit higher price, but it was an XL, still more people said no, they're not interested. They're not interested. They want something else. So I think when you're competing at that high level, you got to have the perfect title. And are they going to come out with a cabinet that has more than one game on it? Well, that's not really what they're known for. They're known for accurate representations of what happened back in the day, you know? And that would be a one game cab. Well, we saw what happened with T2. Now, we're not talking about RK1-Up quality. We're talking about much higher quality. But still, is it really going to work out? Or are they going to take that to market and see what happens and maybe fail? Or do we see what I would hate to see, and it's a reduction in quality, losing some of these innovations that makes their 1/6 scale cabinet so cool, so awesome, all the little touches, all the little things that make them perfect. I'm not going to tell anybody ever to stay in their lane, and I don't think that that's necessarily what they should do, but maybe it's going to have to be very, very restrictive. It's going to have to be maybe, you know, it's going to have to be sort of direct to consumer, which is basically what they do anyway, but maybe even some kind of a Kickstarter where you're going to have to put some money down before they even go forward with this. We're going to have to see some prototyping. We have to know lots of details. And I think that the knee jerk is always going to be, absolutely, they should make full size. Sure. Because we know that it's a good company and we know that they're synonymous with quality and they have pride in their stuff. And a lot of us want that. But is that going to be enough for the mass market? But then again, maybe New Wave Toys isn't trying to target the mass market because, I mean, normies don't usually buy little 1/6 scale frenzy cabinets. But then again, maybe that's just me. Moving on to the final topic of the night. I wanted to make sure that I said hi to everybody. I want to scroll up real quick while we're looking at this. The last topic is going to be what will the next XL be? What's it going to be? Now, in the poll question, which is still up, everybody vote in the poll question. How many votes do we have? 164 votes. Can we get 40 more votes? 30, 36 more votes? Jump up there. Let me know. What do you think? What do you want? What should the next XL cabinet be? That's what I want to know in the poll question. But what we're going to talk about right now is not that. What we're going to talk about right now is what will the next XL cabinet be. And sometimes the truth is a little bit, it's not as kind. It's not as nice. It's a pill that's a little hard to swallow, but nothing makes it go down easier than a super chat. This one comes to us from Bob for $4.99. Thank you so much for your super chat. That is very unnecessary, buddy, but I thank you so much for contributing to support the channel. Passed on Cubert for $180 in Cleveland. Help me give the wife crap because now it's $350. Well, if crap needs to be given, I'm here to dispense it with extreme prejudice.
Finish him. Scorpion wins.
Bob, just tell her about the Street Fighter. I just showed you it was 120 brand new, 600 on eBay right now. 600. It's not even in box. Moving on. I hope I helped to make that argument just a little more intense, maybe more contentious. So let's talk about what the new XL is going to be. Now, I think we're going to get more than one XL. I think we're going to have multiple XLs because Arcade One Up has pretty much told us that's what's going to happen next year. The XLs are going to flow like wine. I don't know. Are they going to flow like beer? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of them because basically, what does Arcade One Up really have left? What tricks do they have up their sleeve? I doubt that they have a ton of licensing ready to go. You see, as we've discussed earlier, even Time Crisis could be in a bit of a crisis. An FCC crisis, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. So XL is the way to go. XLs are going to happen. XLs are coming next year. Now let's talk about what I believe is going to be coming for XLs. Let's look at this logically. And let's remember that we're not talking about what we want. We're talking about what we're going to get. So the poll question is about what you want, but this is what we're going to get. This is my theory. I don't work for Arcade One Up, which is a good thing, I think. So let's talk about what I believe that the company is going to do moving forward. I think this is the XL path forward, and it is a path. It is a multi-tiered, multi-step path. It's not going to be just XLs because, like I said, what do they have left? So first off, right off the bat, Pro cabinets are gone. I don't think we're ever going to hear the word Pro ever again. I don't think they're ever going to bring up Pro. I think they realized that they took their feet, both of them, and shoved them down their throat. Because when you say Pro, no, it's got to be top tier. We expect the very best because you're calling it Pro. And when you ask $1,000 for a cabinet, it better be professional. Well, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So I think they're going to drop the Pro moniker. The Pro naming convention is going to be gone totally, 100%. We're never going to see that again. It's probably a good thing, So let's talk about what's going to happen. I think we got to set some criteria. We just had the deluxes released, right, last year. Deluxes are a form factor that is incredibly similar to an XL. There's no riser, they're still short, but there's no riser, which makes it kind of weird. But it's very, very similar to an XL cabinet. And a lot of these deluxes are pseudo new releases. NBA Jam comes to mind. It's not a new release at all as far as the games, but the form factor is actually the first 4-player deluxe. So I think that deluxes, the games that came out on deluxe, or in the deluxe form factor, I don't think that's what we can expect. So I think if you're wanting your favorite deluxe cabinet to come out in an XL form factor, I think you can forget it. It's not going to happen. What I think, we are going to see, I think what you can count on is that the riser cabs are up. All the risered cabs from back in the day are going to be the first wave of XL cabinets. But I think and while you may be disappointed by that because these are old styling, and the game selection, I think, will be a little bit better. I think you're still going to get like the 14 games like we saw on Pac-Man. I think you're going to see a very nice $5.99 price point. This may be coming to a Costco or a Sam's, but I think we're going to see a return to those legacy cabs, the risered legacy cabs. I think those shapes are going to come back. I think the artwork is going to come back. I think we could really see a Mortal Kombat with the Mortal Kombat 1 artwork. You're still not going to get Johnny Cage on the side. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But I think that form factor could come back. Those decals could come back. The 14 games on the current legacy is going to come back just like we saw on the Pac-Man. It was $5.99 at Costco. They're saying $6.99 on their website. So expect this to be $600 to $650, I'm guessing. I think we'll see a blue Miss Pac-Man XL because we see a black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe coming out. So this is going to be the reason why. This is going to be how they charge you more, or they get you to buy a Miss Pac-Man XL, because you're going to get it in the correct color scheme, the color scheme that you like. So I think that we're probably going to get I think you can absolutely expect to see that. The Centipede, the Atari variants are going to come back. I think it's probably going to be just one Atari. Which one are they going to go for? Probably Tempest, I think, but we could see, I don't know, it could be Centipede. It could be one of those two. So I think this is definitely where you're going to see risered cab. Remember, risered is going to be the thing. Risered cabs are the way to go. And I think the first wave of XLs are going to be at that lower price point of $599 to $650, and they're going to be the legacies, those risered legacy versions. So you know what that means. We've got 3 XLs out right now. 2 of them were $699. The Golden Tee, the Shack Jam, $699. Catch them on sale from time to time, but $699. When Pac-Man came out, it was $599. So you know what that means. Guess what, kids? We're getting variants. We're getting more. My product lineup slide is going to be ridiculous now, because now we're going to be looking at XL Deluxes. Yay. Or XL Plus. You're going to get another tier within the XL lineup. So it was 3/4, and it was all the different things, all the different versions within the 3/4 lineup. And then it was XL and then Pro, and that was it. Well, the Pro is going to be gone, giving way to the XL Deluxe. So guess what? You can expect higher prices with a different name. So you're going to have XL Legacy, XL, just XL. It may just be called XL. XL Deluxe, XL Plus, XL Vault, XL whatever. You're going to have a different level of XL, and it's going to be your T2. It's going to be your Star Wars. It's going to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Blitz, Ridge Racer. I mean, those early drivers and shooters are going to come back as XL Deluxes, which basically is a way for them to charge more. And if you're talking about an XL Star Wars, I don't think anybody's going to be mad at the XL Deluxe Star Wars. But yeah, expect a different layer, a different level of XL within the XL lineup. So you can expect, I think we can expect the Legacy XLs. So XL Legacy, we'll call them XL Legacy, $599 to $650 is going to be the legacy cabinets, but in XL form factor. You're going to see the artwork from those first wave legacies or the second generation legacies, and maybe even the first wave, depending on if we get like a Tempest or a Centipede form factor going on there. So I think you could expect to see that. That's where we're going to be for. It's either going to be XL Legacy. It's probably just going to be XL. I think they'll just call these XL. That's the branding they went with for Pac-Man. And even Shack Jam snuck it in there. But I think by modern standards, today's standards, Shack Jam would be considered an XL Deluxe. And then the XL Deluxes are going to be the shooting cabs, anything different. The higher priced 3/4 scale cabs that were on risers. That's the main thing. They were on risers. They still, like right now, if you buy one right now, it's going to come with a damn riser. That's going to be your XL Deluxe. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. It's going to be at least $699 or more. Is that a price you're comfortable paying? Well, it is what it is. Now, I will say this. One of the big things is going to be like the big reason why it's going to be a vast improvement over those Shack Jam cabinets that were $699, over Golden Tee, which was $699, is you're going to have a BOE monitor from the get. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to make a video because it's already going to be good, which is a good thing. So you'll have a top upper tier. You have the BOE monitor. You're going to have good marquees. I think that's one thing that's been really consistent with the XL line is all the marquees have been good. None of that sticker on top of the crappy, those original, those third generation marquees from back in the day that somehow showed up on a damn Fast and Furious cabinet, which is just insane. So I think that stuff's going to be gone, but I think that's what you're looking at. I think you're going to see all the risered cabs are going to be the first ones out of the gate. Legacies, followed by Deluxes, XL Plus, I don't know what they're going to call it, but you're going to see these come out first at this price point. It just makes sense. It's easy to do. They've been making them forever. They have these licenses locked down. Go back to the well, revisit Star Wars, obviously, come out with that in an XL form factor. T2 comes out with an XL. I don't think they're going to add another game to it. I think it is what it is at this point. They're going to give it a shot because it's a shooter, and they just came out with Big Buck Hunter as a deluxe. I think that's the key. If it came out as a deluxe, they're not going to make it an XL next year. It's not going to happen. It might even be pushed to 25. I mean, 24, you can forget it. 24 is going to be the year of XLs, and it's going to be the year of rehashes, unfortunately. I doubt we'll see anything new in an XL. I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. It may be an expansion of what we have. I think the biggest, the one example, it really is, it is the first XL. It is that Golden Tee, which had all those games, and then it also had bowling and shuffleboard. It was definitely different for sure. 10 games, 8 games, games that weren't on that original 3/4 scale cabinet. So that does give me a little bit of hope that if we're talking about T2, is it possible that the T2 XL Deluxe or XL, whatever, when T2 makes its XL debut, will it actually have a different game on it? Will we see Revolution X on there? I don't know. I would really freaking hope that it would happen. I think that would be incredible. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think that we can probably expect to see the exact same PCBs just swapped over to an XL. Is that going to be enough for you to rebuy cabinets you've already purchased? I think Star Wars is a no-brainer. I have the first Star Wars, and the only reason I would sell it and rebuy Star Wars is if it came out with an XL cabinet. And if they do, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen next year, that's pretty much a stand. I think it's going to happen. I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm not going to be mad at all. I'm going to be happy about Star Wars XL. I'm also going to be happy about a $4.99 super chat. This one comes to us from Vic Vicious 75. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. $5, man. I really do appreciate it. What about, here's his XL suggestions. What about Frogger, Burger Time, Galaga, Golden Axe, X-Men, Simpsons, etc.? Maybe. I think you've got some complications with Sega. Sega is kind of the outlier. I don't know that we're going to see Outrun come back. And to that same effect, I don't think, or in that same vein, I don't think we're going to see Golden Axe. X-Men, maybe. But those cabinets are already so pricey and so high. And what's weird about those is they're so much more expensive than Blitz, which is a game they had more R&D in. They had more time developing that cabinet. And still, Blitz came out with a better control panel and a lower price point. So that's why I'm not going to put those in right away, because those things are still out there. They're still incredibly expensive, $700, $750 for those cabinets, those 4-player cabinets, X-Men and Simpsons. I don't know if we're going to see another iteration of those anytime soon. I hate to say it. I would love to see XL form factor. I'd love to see XL X-Men. I would love to see XL Simpsons. X-Men are XL Turtles may happen. But then again, the thing that makes me think that's not going to happen is because the Cowabunga collection that was rumored could absolutely happen. And I think that's going to be a 3/4 scale cabinet. I don't think that's going to be like a collab cab. And that's probably going to be $600 and it won't be XL. I think that's just what they're going to do. It's sad. I wish they would do that in an XL because that would be killer. But I don't think that TMNT is going to happen right away, because I think we're going to get that collab cab next year, which means that the XLs are going to be relegated to what we've already talked about tonight. I don't know if Frogger's going to come back. I don't know if they're going to redo Burger Time. I don't know how that's sold. I don't think it's sold as well as we think. What was it? 3,000 cabinets they were trying to sell. Because it was 8,000 of the Marvel Superheroes Limited, and then I think it was 3,000 of the Burger Time. And I don't know that they sold all of those. Now, could they redo that and maybe have Karate Champ on there, or maybe Bad Dudes? Would be more, maybe something a little bit different, a little more recognizable. Burger Time was definitely cool. It's a great shape. It's a very unique cabinet, but I don't know that we're going to see those right away because of weird things with licensing. I think the reason I think the reason X-Men and Simpsons is so. What are you doing after 2 big plays, 49ers? Okay, stop telling me the damn game. I'm gonna cry later. I just don't. I think that there's licensing issues that are going to prevent those games from making their way to XL right away. I think there's licensing issues with Fox, now Disney, that is keeping those prices of those cabinets artificially high. Simpsons is a little bit of an outlier. It was weird. There was all kind of crazy pricing up and down. But still, if you want to buy that cabinet today, they're incredibly expensive. X-Men is still very expensive. And I think it's licensing. And I think they could be locked in and stuck with just selling what inventory they have. We may not see those again, which is kind of sad. I don't know if you're aware, but there is a licensing guy that used to work for RK1 who's not there anymore. So that could be part of it too. Anyway, thank you so much for your $5 super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. It was a long-winded answer, but I hope it helped. And let me give you something a little bit special. Here you go. Yeah, so I think that's where we're at. And if you notice, I left off Capcom. I left off a Street Fighter variant because we're getting a Street Fighter / Capcom HS5 Deluxe. So I think, unfortunately, Capcom's going to be delayed. So then that adds another funky thing to the whole mix. It's like, I really like the form factor of that cabinet. That Deluxe looks really good. That HS5 is really sick. But do I get it now or do I wait? But I think if you're going to wait for Capcom, you're going to have to wait till 25 before that comes out in an XL. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they have too many other things to revisit. I think that the Deluxes that the Mortal Kombat Deluxe, the Midway Deluxe came out so long ago, so early that we won't see an MK2 skinned XL. I think we'll see the MK1 skinned XL, just to add a little bit of difference between the two. I think it's just the way that's going to be, because they're still trying to sell those Deluxes. So they're not going to try to hurt the sales of the Deluxe by coming out with an XL that looks exactly the same. I mean, that would be crazy. I mean, yeah, they just did that with Pac-Man, but they're not that crazy, right? I mean, they would never do that twice, would they? Oh, how would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Once again, unfortunately, it is that time to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do, we got to look at the poll question. How did we do? How many votes did we get? Can I get 7 more votes, everybody? Jump up in the poll. Vote in the poll. It is a simple question. It's a pretty short question. Simply put, we talked about what I'm pretty sure is going to happen. We've talked about what we're going to get as far as XLs. But what is the next XL cabinet that you want? What should the next XL cabinet be? If you had your way, what would it be? Would you settle for one of the legacy cabinets? Would you want a shooter cab, or would you want a driver cab? 6 more votes, guys. If I can get 6 more votes, we can hit 200. I know it's an off night. Jump up there. I'll give you a couple more seconds. We're going to go ahead and take it. It's not bad. It's not a loss. It's a win. Oh, 195. 195. Can I get 5 more votes? Let me know. You got to vote. You got to let your voice be heard. You got to let them know where your head's at. What are you thinking? What do you want? Do you want them to step out and do a driver, do a shooter, or stick with the legacies? Give us a legacy. I think, and listen, I don't think a legacy is a bad way to start. The Pac-Man XL is a pretty sweet cabinet. It's really not that bad. The LED lights are absolutely unnecessary on the buttons. We don't need those. Just give me a regular button. It's fine. But hey, it is what it is. You did it. You did it. 201 votes, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and kill it real quick in the poll. Thank you, everybody, for voting. 200 votes. Not bad. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of each and every. And you, Connor, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know your dad's going to be mad, but don't worry. He's going to be mad at me. He's not going to be mad at you, because I told you to stay. And I wonder how you voted, Connor. So here is the poll question once again. What should the next XL cabinet be? 27% of you say, just give me a driver cab. I want a driver cab in that XL form factor. 27%, third place. Second place is a shooter cab with 32% saying, give me a shooter. I'm actually kind of surprised that it is second place. I thought for sure it'd be first place. But coming into first place is a legacy cab. And I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're saying. You're talking about value. If you get an XL cabinet and it's a legacy, you're getting 14 games. So I can't fault you. It makes sense. And it's a great way to kind of put a bow on the legacy cabinet. This would be the legacy cabinet to end all legacy cabinets. Once you buy that, you're good. You don't really care about the next legacy, unless they come out with another legacy XL that has a different skin, and then you might buy that one. But at least for now, to get a legacy cabinet, Capcom, Midway, Atari, Namco, to get that in the XL, is kind of where you stop, right? That's a great place to stop. It's a great holding point, and a lot of people think it'll be happy with that for sure. So it's it's interesting. So everybody wants a legacy. Well, actually, when you look at the numbers, it's almost a third, a third split. 39% legacy, 32 shooter, and 27 driver. So I don't know, RKO One Up, you need to look at this. You need to really look at this, and you're making your Excels, or which way you're going to go. Listen, everybody's spoken. 202 votes. That's where we're at. So maybe you need to rethink what you're doing, or maybe you're right on track. I don't really know, because who knows what's going on in the minds of the RK One Up crazies. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. I'm going to go watch my Dallas Cowboys lose, and then I'll probably have another drink and cry. And once again, I will be in Buffalo, New York this week. So if anybody's in Buffalo, New York, reach out to me. Hit me up on Twitter, X. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you're in the area. It's actually Batavia, which is just outside of Buffalo, is where I'm going to be working. So let me know if there's any cool places to hang out, and maybe we can hang out, have a beer together, or maybe even some bourbon. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by, checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time. Peace.